My name is Todd Rizley. I am a solutions engineer here at RapDev. Real user monitoring is the ability to understand from an end user perspective what their journey and experience is with a web application or a mobile application within the Datadog ecosystem. That is incredibly powerful because it not only gives you understanding of what the user experience is, but where an error may happen upstream and impact later downstream services on the back end. Datadog is very powerful in being able to stitch together different types of data and give you a seamless experience, either debugging or understanding what an issue may be or where a problem might lie. So with something like real user monitoring, you're able to see the entire journey of a request or a user journey, both from the front end perspective, but also tied to the back end. So you have multiple different telemetry types stitched together, being logs, metrics, and traces. Real user monitoring is impactful for front end application teams, as well as any sort of developer experience team, but also for SRE and DevOps teams to understand where a problem may originate and understanding what the impact might be. Similarly, there's also use cases for any sort of product team to understand where there might be fall-offs within user journeys and understanding how someone might be traversing their product through something like session replay. Implementing a single product within Datadog is challenging if you're not thinking of the whole. With something like real user monitoring, it's incredibly important that you think about the entire use case or what business value you're trying to drive. Where the issues might be. So implementing something like RUM within a silo all by itself, while it gives you a ton of rich contextual information, you're lacking what's happening on the back end and what's happening from the infrastructure perspective. So RapDev takes a very holistic approach to understand not just what your goals are for any sort of front end or real user monitoring, but also what is truly happening on the back end and giving you a full perspective. If you don't have RUM set up, you're not getting a full picture of what is happening within your applications, especially if they are customer-facing applications. For internal applications, while it may be important, being able to understand what is happening from an end user perspective, being able to replay what they're actually doing, how they're traversing the application, and understanding where any sort of frustrations or errors might lie is incredibly critical to driving business value, but also may be entirely missed if you're only implementing the back-end services. RapDev is involved in many different projects where end-to-end observability is paramount. So not just implementing RUM in a silo and calling it done, but implementing RUM in tandem with something like synthetics and APM and logs, both on the front end and the back end, to give that very robust picture of what is happening throughout a request, throughout a user session. So engineers have the kind of full visibility that they need in an observability platform. RapDev has, dozens, hundreds of projects experience implementing both RUM, but taking a zoomed out approach to understand really which pieces are important to end users. So not just one product or the other. RapDev will also typically instrument synthetic tests or even browser tests. So that gives you a fuller picture, both from the reactive and proactive perspective from what is happening from the client-side perspective. RapDev has a very broad experience implementing products across the Datadog toolset. We are seeing more and more a drive to have true end-to-end observability from a number of our different customers. And really what that means is utilizing something like RUM, utilizing something like synthetics and browser tests to get that full end-to-end experience.